Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena story. Folks, today is a fun day because we're using the old school Stream Beats track for background music, if you guys can hear it. So you'll have to excuse that, but I just wanted to do it. Nostalgia, etc. But today is an interesting match for GAC because this is the semifinals. Well, not quite the semifinals. It's the second match of the week. I lost my first one to my podcast co-host, SoloBase15. Lost it by one banner. If you haven't seen that fight, folks, check it out. It is a really epic match the whole way through, and losing by one banner sucks, but we can get through it. But we're in a sticky spot though too, because I've also lost my previous fight in the finals of last week. So I lost 2 in a row, and I mean, I don't want to admit it or whatever, but it's good for my ego to just like keep just getting wrecked, to tell everyone like I think that might be the first time I've lost 2 matches in a row. So in GAC, maybe it's happened before, but you know, not the kind of record I would like to have. And so this is another tricky match as well, though, because my opponent I faced last week, actually, this week's opponent I faced last week as well, in the same slot, like the second match of the week. And so after the match, I beat them, and after the match, they messaged me on my YouTube video, and they said, "Hey, good match. I didn't know you were a streamer. I learned a ton, and it's like I hope we get matched up again soon," which is kind of fun. Like they said that, but at the same time, I'm like, I hope it's not too soon. I don't want you to learn too much. Like this is going to be uncomfortable. So like they didn't place any Galactic Legends last time or any time before it, but they also hadn't ever placed Executor on defense before until my match as well with them. So there's some a little bit of tension going on. How do I react to that? Like I have to change my defenses up as well. And so we're gonna go for it, guys. We're gonna see how it happens, how it works, and see what he did. He did some significantly different things. Last time he just let his defenses roll over. This time he placed all of them specifically because I'm sure he recognized me. So that being said, folks, let's jump to the action right after I just say a couple words, folks. First, a couple like 200, 2,000 words. So first I want to say thank you to all my patrons. I need to clean up this form once again, but I mean, I really appreciate you guys. It's been a long time that you guys have been supporting me, a lot of you, so I truly appreciate it. Couldn't do what I do without you. And to those of you who haven't signed up for Patreon yet, guys, I mean, we would love to have you. There's a lot of fun stuff. You get the access to the arena bot, so that tells you when you climb, when someone hits you in arena, both ships and fleet. That sends a direct DM to you. Direct DM, like gosh, I'm like, it's the guy who says RPG game, but it sends you, every time someone hits you in arena, it tells you how far you got knocked back, so you can avoid getting sniped and everything in arena. You get access to an exclusive chat, all of this stuff, guys. It's a good deal. So I mean, you know, would love to have you join us. Of course, we'd be honored if you would join us for dinner, even if we don't actually eat dinner together. And if you don't want to join my Patreon, there's other ways you can support, but one of the free ways you can do it, just hit that like button, folks, leave a comment. We're trying to mount the algorithm, get more attention on this channel, and you guys have been really coming through. I really appreciate that. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll get through this together. That being said, it's been a really long preview, and let's actually just get to the fighting, shall we? So here's my opponent. Like I said, we faced him last time. He's from One Flew Over the Dooku's Nest, something like that. It's a guild. He's from a guild, and so let's see what he placed. I'll show you guys my defenses after this. So I did place an okay defense, but it's not like this transcendent one. So he put his Padme squad on defense, General Skywalker team, Grievous with Nest so that I can't use Mothra on it, and then a couple other things. Apparently I'm just not showing it to you guys, so you guys will see soon enough though. I think a oh yeah, both ends of a Darth Revan squad. So he's got like the old school like Emperor Palpatine squad with Basti and Malak, and then he also had a Darth Revan team alone with Marauder, like the old school, like what Arnold used to tell people to take, which I always kind of chuckled at, because I never thought it was that effective, but I mean, if it worked for Arnold, then good for him, I guess. But that's what this guy did. And then up top, we've got Galactic Legend Nute, a Dooku team with a decent Droidica, pretty quick one, and some Bounty Hunters, some Night Sisters, and then we'll see what's on the... I forget what the bottom squad is, frankly, guys. Apparently nothing too crazy. So first off, we're just going to use Jedi Revan here. This was the team that I always told people to use against this when people were taking all the time because of Arnold's suggestions. And I mean, it works, right? So that's the reason you don't want to split this team up in this way, is like this Jedi Revan team is actually, I would say that this is a cheaper thing. Like this is a pretty good deal for us, in terms of like Malak and Basti together are a really strong combo, and being able to just use Jedi here is nice. Now you'll note that my opponent did not place any Galactic Legends on defense at all, or at least at all in the front zones, but I was afraid, guys, because he's never done that before and he placed special defenses for me. I didn't trust it, and I needed to keep as many Galactic Legends available for the back as I could. So I have 4 Galactic Legends total. I did put 2 down, as you guys will see at the end when I show my defenses, but we're just trying to use the lowest common denominator teams, and in this case, we're trying to... we got to kill Malak here. Obviously, you guys saw the match. Like we marked Basti first, and this team wasn't fast enough to outspeed my Jedi Revan, which, I mean, it's a lot of... most teams aren't going to be able to outspeed him, but it is a tricky thing. Darth Malak is he's hard to take down, and it seems at first like you can't kill him at all because he continuously just triggers his force drain ability, and that's because he has specific steps in which it just automatically he's able to do the force drain. And so you're like, man, he's just gonna force drain forever and I'll never be able to stop. But eventually it does slow down, because once you hit those like milestones where he gets an automatic bonus turn and gets to force drain, once you actually once you burn through those, then he doesn't get it nearly as often. So got 52 there, and that's good enough. I mean, it's essentially a Darth Revan team. And then we also, they put their Padme squad down. They have a lot of potency on their Padme though, and so you guys will see, even once we get 3 stacks, they keep applying their debuffs to it. Like, they keep stunning me, and it's problematic. I mean, here's the thing though, in 3v3, if my Malak is Relic 7, and it's gonna take a lot to chew through him. I mean, Jedi Anakin could potentially make it so that he doesn't heal or anything with his basics, but eventually I'll get enough tenacity to mostly block Anakin anyways through my stacks. And now we're just trying to get protection off of these two so that we can eventually just get a force drain on one of them, and once one of them is gone, then the other one will fall probably pretty easily. But of course, Padme keeps getting stuns. Like, every single time she gets a stun, and it's just being patient here, folks. I mean, she's got incredibly high potency. I was very impressed actually with that. Even as it was annoying, I was like, I'm not even mad. That's amazing. But I mean, Malak can't really be denied from this squad. Like, you eventually, once you take out Snips, I mean, she's not giving bonus protection or anything anymore, and eventually just wait for Padme to not have any buffs around, or at least not enough, and you can do the force drain for 56. So keep in mind, that's a Relic 8, Relic 8, Relic 7 team that he took out for 56. Now, I was just going down the line here, folks. So, I had all these planned out. We were doing Gambit Fight Night, and it's just been a very exhausting couple of weeks. Like, we did Speed GAC. We did the solo versus me match, and that was all within, like, the same 8 days. And it's very, very draining to do that. I had a really intense finals match last week, which I lost, so... I'm just tired, and so I had everything planned out. I was like, let's just go for it. And what we're doing here, folks, you just take Sith Eternal against General Skywalker, and if you can sit him down, once you eventually with Link, if you have Link on General Skywalker, that'll eventually steal enough, because he's a Jedi, it steals his protection at a faster rate than anyone else. You can eventually just make him sit down permanently, because he has to actually have protection at all if he wants to stand up, and he doesn't own protection right now. Like that's not an option for him, kind of. So what we're doing here is, like, he just sits down until we take out the rest of his clones. So that's always been the case with Sith Eternal. Now, the General Skywalker is actually doing a lot of damage, and there's not much threat of my Sith Eternal losing here, but we only got a 54 because we couldn't recover health or protection by the time we got through. So, got the kill though, and now we can I kept my Bossk Bounty Hunter team. I did go a little stronger on offense this time, just so I could get really efficient wins without any sketch, because the thing is, I figured I could out-efficiency my opponent, but he is very fit. Like, he keeps a lot for offense, and the idea here is if I can get a bunch of 54s and get as close to the soft max as possible, then that's what we're gonna do. So the Grievous team with Nest is fine. It's good until you run into, like, so you can't use like some of the cheaper counters to take it out. Like Mon Mothma doesn't really work, and probably neither does the Thrideon team. I didn't want to experiment this time, but Bossk lead against that team just destroys it. Just kill Nest first, because Nest can one-shot your Mando and make things dicey. Kill her first, and then Grievous won't be able to touch you. Now, this is an experimental team. I kept Jedi Knight Luke, because frankly, like, now that Maul is out, you don't, like, this team is mostly out of, like, Jedi Knight Luke is probably just an offensive team. Now, keep in mind, too, though, this Darth Revan team, people tend to be afraid of Darth Revan himself, and I don't really like blame people for being afraid of Darth Revan, but the thing I want to remind people about is the fact that Darth Revan is just not that good without Basti. Without Basti, like, just not necessarily the best. So here we got a 52 with Jedi Luke and a pre-taunt with Hoda, and no real challenges. The question is, did he put a Galactic Legend down on defense ever for the, at any point? And he finally did. This is the first time he's ever, that I've seen, placed a Galactic Legend on defense, and I was actually very happy to see this, because otherwise he didn't put very many good teams on defense, and so that means he has a lot on offense, which means he's going to be efficient. So having one Galactic Legend on defense is really nice for me, because I still get the same banners against it, but he has the one less thing, one less weapon in his arsenal. And so, we have Jedi Master Kenobi available for that Rey, and we've got to take out that team first. So now, I mean, this is a tricky team, because Vander's going to, once he gets prepared, he can revive L3. So the idea is he doesn't have prepared, and may as well just take down L3, because she can't be revived now. It doesn't work in retrospect. So now, yeah, he has prepared, but he has no one to revive. So, I mean, he still does have his buff, which means that Rey is going to take 25% less damage every time he gets hit, or she gets hit. But the goal here, so we got her into heal or damage immunity as early as we could, and now the goal is, we wanted to get that. I mean, typically against Rey, we want to get her to that healing immunity stuff before she actually gets her ult. And then she'll ult, we'll pop our feet, and be able to take her big hit, and then we can finish her off. But in this case, I had a big hit from Fulcrum. She's not Fulcrum. Gosh, wrong. Where did that even come from? From Cat, and Cat was able to just one-shot her. So that was pretty nice. 54, and like I said, we would have gotten a 54 anyways, maybe a 55 with that team if my opponent hadn't placed a GL. So not bad at all. I really like to see that. And now we're going to use Thrideon. You guys have seen Thrideon a lot of times now, and this is, people use the GL Nute team, and keep in mind, I mean, so you can see how frantically the mouse is moving. It's because I put it at a faster speed, because you guys have seen it a lot of times. But for those of you who are uninitiated to it, this team is really nice. It doesn't do much damage on its own, but the way you get damage, and the reason it works in 3v3 but not necessarily 5v5, is because you have all these different kind of things happening. Like, so with Thrawn lead, every time you're debuffed and everything, you're healing your health and protection, and you're also with Gideon and Stormtrooper, you have a lot of good regeneration abilities and stuff. Every time Stormtrooper takes a turn, then he's giving protection up to himself and other Imperial Remnant characters, which Thrawn is not, but Gideon is. And meanwhile, Thrawn just has Jango fractured, so that Jango can't do anything. We're trying to take out B1 and then Nute before Jango is kind of let loose, because we can't hurt Jango while he's being fractured. But that's not the point. The point is to just let Jango kind of hang out in stasis for a long time, and the way we do that is we fracture him, and then using Gideon's ability to manipulate turn meter and reduce it, like it reduces Thrawn's turn meter all the way to 25%, which in turn makes it so that he takes less turns, and then because he's got his Zeta on the fracture, he's also making it so that every time we use a special, which because he's lead, we have a ton of specials on Stormtrooper and Gideon, we also have access to the to being able to reduce Thrawn's turn meter every time we use a special. So, and then Nute actually also helps with that, because he is he's giving us the extortion, and so every time he gives us extortion, we can pay that, and that counts as using a special with Thrawn. So we're reducing turn meter there because he's fractured. He's also countering every time he gets hit, and you can see Jango can't be hurt, but we can start putting stacks of armor shred on him, which is necessary if we want to actually kill him, because like I said, these guys can do some damage, a small amount, but it's not really enough. Like, I wouldn't want to try to kill Jango just without armor shred available. With these three, you might be able to if you have high enough relics, but keep in mind, most of the Jangos that I face are relic 7 or higher, because he's an unlock character, so you need him to unlock other characters. And we're just trying to keep all our health and protection as high as we can, just so that we can get good banners here. Like I said, we're not only trying for we're not just trying to get a kill, we're trying to get a 54 every time. Every single fight we're fighting, we're trying to do that. So Imperial Troopers, I checked to make sure that I was fast enough, and their spirit is actually very close to faster than my, like the bridge between my Piet and Dark, but he was faster. And honestly, like, this team doesn't have Zombie on it, so without Zombie, like, you could just go in and punch the one person who can revive them, then you can punch Asajj, then Spirit is gone, and we're good. Now this one lasts a while, guys, because Droideka is just fast enough to cause some issues, and we don't have a Dispel on this team. So, that being said, with Dooku here, you can see he's in stealth. We could target him with Whistling Birds, and didn't quite get the kill. He's, I think he has to be Relic 8 now, Relic, some high Relic, as an unlock character, but it's not absolutely, like, so it's not a really big deal. He's still pretty squishy, even at Relic 8 is what I'm trying to spit out, folks. So, yeah, I mean, we have something to occupy our minds. We can take out this Magna Guard, and then what I should have done there, folks, is I should have tried to stun that Droideka with Kuiil. Didn't quite pan out, didn't quite kill Droideka, and now it's just going to take a really long time to time it. I mean, we have 3.5 minutes left, more than that, and we can't stun him while he's in damage immunity. And the thing is, he's in damage immunity for 2 turns in a row, then he has 1 turn of vulnerability. So the idea here is to time our Whistling Birds for when he gets out of that. So he's out of it, but we only have 1 Whistling Bird because we couldn't accumulate Whistling Birds while he was in damage immunity. And tried to stun him, didn't work, even with potency or tenacity down. So we got some pretty bad RNG because I actually tiny spoiler alert, we actually failed to stun him another time as well in a little bit. So I mean, the real scare, of course, is if he manages to get enough damage with his big shot, he could potentially just shoot one shot our Bando. So here we go. Once again, we're trying to stun him. Didn't stun him even with tenacity down again. Whistling Birds don't do anything, and now I'm starting to worry because we got 2 minutes left, and it's like I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, are we just going to time out against Droideka? We can't really afford that because my opponent is a pretty efficient player and is really good at making sure that they get a lot of banners and they don't fail. Like, it's going to be tough. So instead, what I ended up doing, I was like, you know what? We're not going to try Whistling Birds. Let's just do a basic, and that did it. 52 banners, and it's not a 54, obviously, but at least we got through it. So thank God for that. Now we're going to use Mothra. There wasn't a Grievous team to take down with it, but a Hux team just as good here. You know, remember, you don't want to use like a team against a crew lead because you probably you might be able to take him out eventually just because you have healing immunity debuff from Cassian, but it's not so consistent that you want to have that happen. Now, Solo was saying, this is Gambit Fight Night, remember, he was saying he always goes for Red Trooper here first instead of Hux, and I like to take out Hux because Hux is kind of he's the hub of what everything. Once you take that domination off of him, like once you take him out, then they can't hit me back. Once you take him out, you can't summon everyone for a mass assist. So even though you kind of made Red Trooper stronger for a little bit, then because he got to do his bonus turn and everything, you're still just fine. Honestly, like, assuming you have some decent relics on K2 and Cassian, which, I mean, I have Relic 5 on both, so we're good. We're just fine. So, take out Red Trooper next, and then First Order Stormtrooper is just... He's fine. He's good. He's a good character, actually, in the context of First Order. He's actually very tanky. He's got a lot of things that they all want, etc. Like, he fits them very well, but he's not a world beater. He's not going to just win. So he's the bad guy anyways. Bad guys don't ever win. So we've got the Han and Chewie team, and here we're just trying to control as much as we can. So check this out, guys. We got it to the point where Han gets 3 turns in a row if you make him fast enough. This is an example of why you want a fast Han. And so I was waiting for Solo. He was just stepped away for a sec. I was like, dude, you got to look at this. So got the AoE from Chewie and managed to take all 3. Not that was like a feat or anything. It's just kind of a fun happenstance. Now we're going to use Bad Batch against this. This is a weird team. He's got Bando in. He's got a Bando team in a different zone, and so his remaining team is Dengar with IG and Kuiil, which is a good idea for a timeout team. But Bad Batch actually do pretty decently against this because as long as you get your shield, that's what I always call it. Like, you get the protection up. Or defense up, the shield buff. You get your shield. As long as you get that, then you're doing true damage and you're ignoring, Dengar's lead is all about reducing your max damage on your crits, but you're doing true damage. As long as you have that shield, you're doing true damage, and so therefore you just get to ignore everything that Dengar does that's good and wipe out the team. I mean, that's an annoying timeout team in other circumstances, but it's not too bad. We're using Basticam Ayla here just so that we can maybe get some stuns with Ayla or something. I think I used all the other... I have Jedi Master Luke on defense in the back. You guys will see. It's very sneaky. I think he got like a 54 on it, so It was like really, really effective. But the thing about this fight is they can do some damage, but not enough. And we have all that bonus protection from Basti. So yeah, now we're going to use Ray here. The idea here, you always, if you want to solo something with Ray, you do 2 lifebloods in general, and then you just try to do basics to regenerate your health. And he's got the whistling birds. I was like, you know what? Let's just take out Bando because it'll be funny. And then I don't know if this was the most. I would like to try a redo here just to see if we could get 56. Because using the whirlwind there just essentially made it so we didn't get enough health steal on Ray to be able to get the win. So, or to be able to get the 56. So now we've got Bossk, and I didn't need to. This is why I liked that he put Ray on defense, frankly, because he, like I was gonna, my remaining Galactic Legends were in a way wasted. I had a bunch of teams that could beat this. Not for 55 though, so may as well use Supreme Leader Kylo and remove all doubt. So we got a pretty decent score so far. I mean, I don't know if it's not quite the soft max, but it's close. But then of course we get to the great equalizer, which is we get Executor, and of course mine is on defense as well, and so we're just going to do the same thing we always do. We got decent RNG there in that they targeted TIE Fighter pilot in their initial barrage, so we got a bunch of turn meter on Malevolence, and now we just we're going to get turn meter on everyone. We want to take out as much of the Razor Crest as we can before Houndstooth taunts. And, I mean, we can call everyone to assist, kind of. Not everyone has to assist, but I think it's only 70% that those guys assist. But now we got some damage on Houndstooth, and the fight is so much easier if you get that taunt on Xanadu Blood. But we didn't get it. Again, this is the 4th or 5th time in a row in a GAC match that we didn't actually get the assigned taunt to go on Xanadu. It was 3 times in a row on Xanadu, and now it's been 5 times in a row on Razor Crest. So we did take out Razor Crest, which is nice. The goal here, of course, is you want to one-shot, but if you can't one-shot this team, it's not that unlikely. You want to be able to at least take out 1 or 2 ships. So there aren't any other reinforcements other than just the standard bounty hunter team, and so we're just trying to melt these side ships as much as we can. And I don't know, I hadn't been keeping track. Like, if Houndstooth is about to taunt, it actually wouldn't be a bad idea to so we taunted there. We could have maybe just used the buff immunity thing from Razor Crest, or from, it's not Razor Crest, whatever the Old Republic ship is, Ebonhawk, to be able to just wipe out, to be able to stop the taunt from Houndstooth, but I don't know. It was still fine. And then they killed a bunch of our guys, like just all in one big swing here, and it's not my favorite thing. Obviously, we gotta, we did get our ult, which usually means like, oh man, we can maybe get the win. We took out, like, right now it's looking really good, really good actually. So they kill one of our vultures. That's fine. We can use the AOE and everything looks good. And then Executor is just like, oh, hey, I'll just blow up your ship. And gosh, it was super close to being able to one-shot. Like, it's about as close as you get and fail. So yeah, this is frustrating. I'll show you guys the next fight. It's even more frustrating. That was 4 minutes of frustration. Now you guys can see. So easy cleanup. Only those 2 ships. There's no more reserves left, right? So we're going to use Raddus here because we can get away with it, folks. We can use Raddus to take out Executor almost certainly, because these, like, Houndstooth is a good tank, but it's not good at continuing, like, it's not good at forcing Executor to use its ultimate, right? So we get to our ultimate faster, and here's the problem, folks, is you want to be able to kill Houndstooth, of course, after Executor is gone, and the only way you do that is some kind of mechanic to stop him from healing. And so we have Wedge in reserves who can do healing immunity, but me and Solo both thought that the reserves would be able to, on Biggs, we'd be able to, he'd be able to use his special, the one that my cursor is over, to be able to cause healing immunity on Houndstooth, as long as it procced, and as it turned out, that was actually just false. So you can see here, we just timed out. You can't kill Houndstooth with this comp. It's just not possible. So maybe should have brought my Finalizer squad against it, but as it stands, let's use Rebels here against their Raddus, and there's a moment of like, if your Falcon misses their Falcon, there's a moment of just like sheer panic. You can't win. But if your Falcon does hit their Falcon, then you're good. I mean, their Falcon is tough to hit just because he has the evasion up and everything, and that mechanic can really just screw you over. But as it stands, you can, if you do hit it, if you can take out their Falcon early, you're just good. So we got the 66 there on their fleet, and now how do you get the most banners possible? You just take Finalizer. I wanted to take Shuttle just to make sure that we're getting. Didn't want to get into a circumstance where our silencer was just, I don't know, able to get soloed by their Houndstooth, but we got 40, so we actually, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That means we dropped, I mean, it's not great. We dropped 26 from there, and the final score, folks, I mean, it's not bad, really. I mean, so the soft max in 3v3 in Division 1 is 33-38, I believe. So we dropped 28 total banners, 30 of which we should have dropped on their Executor. So, in fact, we only ended up dropping 28 total, which means we were above the soft max, I guess, going into it. Doesn't seem like that's possible, if I'm thinking about it. Though we used Galactic Legends to get a couple 56s and stuff with Malak. Maybe we did, but... so, still vulnerable though, right? If they fail once, then we're probably safe. And if they don't fail... but if they don't fail, then it's going to get dicey. And he kept a lot for offense. So, let's actually go as quick as we can. I'll show you guys how we ended up doing after he attacked. It took a while for him to attack finally, but he did. And here we are. Whoa, we're in the game now. Madness. So here we are, guys. We got the win. Sorry, there wasn't more building up of suspense, but we're trying to knock this video out. He did full clear me, but it was kind of nice. Here, let's get Azza's accomplishment out of here, shall we? Don't care. Omega 7-star. Woo. Okay, so he one-shot my Darth Revan team. Not sure what he used on any of this. He got a 55 on my General Skywalker and a 53 on Lord Vader. And otherwise, I don't know what he got. But he did fail once on Commander Luke, which is huge. I did have Maul up front as well, just to make him think. And I think he got a 55 on that. So I think he used a Galactic Legend. In the back, we have my Jedi Master Luke and a Grievous team with Nest as well. So that was cool. Fin Poe, Strawberry Head Maul team, and Padme. They all got one shot for various banners. Nothing too crazy, but I did drain his banners a little bit here and there, at least. And then up top we have a GL Nute team that got punked. The Rex team with Barriss got punked. I figured if we have Rex and Barriss on the same defense as Padme, then they can only use Malak on one of them, and then the other one requires a serious counter, is what I figure. And then we have Crew and Asajj, but then the team that surprised me, I put this down just because I wanted to keep a Bossk team available for offense, and I can't believe, I have no idea what he used, but it lost, the Boba team lost to, or it beat something. I have no idea what he used. I've always disregarded that team, but maybe it's time to look a little deeper. Who knows? And then he also lost once to Executor, so lost 3 times, dropped 60 banners. Even if he hadn't dropped 60 banners, well, let's see. He was 45 away. I mean, so he dropped 60 in total. if just from losses. If he hadn't done that, let's see, 45, another 15. I guess he needed to lose one of them. As long as he lost one, then he was good. I was good to go because we dropped 30. We had 30 in losses just from ships, and then of course I was able to recuperate a little bit with my ships just because I got such a good. I got a 40 on that cleanup instead of like the standard like 36 or 35, 30, whatever. So one way or another, folks, yeah, pretty clean win. And no shade on my opponent who said he had learned a lot. Hopefully he learns more. That it's all about the pursuit of knowledge, and I just have to say it felt really nice to finally win after the last couple weeks. Like, we lost twice in speed GAC. I've lost twice in actual GAC. It's like sometimes when it rains it pours, and that's good for my character, right? For me personally to actually grow and be able to learn from my mistakes, that to overcome things. But it's not pleasant, and the prospect of potentially losing a third like that in 3 matches, like, it was pretty scary. So I'm really glad that Executor didn't just totally screw me over. And yeah, so good match to my opponent, and we'll see you guys in a little bit for the final match. Probably I'll have streamed it by the time this is posted, to be honest, but I have no idea how that's going to go. So, folks, thank you all so much for watching. Please remember, hit that like button if you haven't already, hit the sub button, etc. Thank you all so much for watching a second time, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails. Finally!